Hey, it's me, Tanya. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here today. We are going to learn how to paint lips today, and this is from a full-length tutorial that you can find here. And the reason I wanted to share this is because when I first started doing watercolors, I couldn't find anything that made sense to me. And a lot of the videos are in fast forward, which you have to do so they're not 3 hours long. But I couldn't figure out how to do a man's lips. And that was something that I found challenging. So I just kept doing it until I found something that worked for me and watched a lot of videos and read a lot of books and did all the stuff. But today, I just want to share what works for me, and maybe it'll work for you too. I want to preface this by saying I am not a master magician watercolorist. I am just someone who loves to do this, and I've been doing it for a while. So I hope that you find this useful. And some of the techniques might work for you, some of them may not. But the whole point is just to have fun. And that's what my channel is all about. It's having fun, playing, experimenting, taking all the stress out of everything having to be perfect, whether you're a beginner and frustrated because you can't make anything look like what you're watching on videos or on different books, or if you're somebody who's more advanced and you feel a lot of stress and pressure because you want to sell and then you talk yourself out of it because you just don't feel it's good enough. Been there, done that. So, yeah, that's part of why I'm doing this one today. All right, grab your paper and your brushes and your paint and your water, and let's get ready to go. Okay, so this is the dude we're going to paint today. Now on the palette, I had already mixed up a golden yellow, ochre, and purple blue violet, some of which we'll be using later with the lips. Is actually use a bit of ochre pink, and believe it or not, this incredibly bright color is actually a cool tone, and I like that to balance what's happening here. So very minimal amount. Again, super wet brush, mix it up. I'm gonna get the excess off my brush, and I'm just gonna do super light wash all the way through. Now look at all of these beautiful pink and violet tones. You wouldn't think that that would create beautiful skin, but it does. There's so many things that go into it, and once you know the secret, it makes a really great painting. Now at this point, let's do the mouth a little bit and see how we can get a bit of detail in there. So what I'm going to do is use this, is that on screen? Oh, super close up of the ochre pink. And just add a little bit on my plate here. A little bit of water. Okay, like before, I'm going to mock in the areas where there's going to be some shadow that go over top of this color. I'm going to start with where the lips are together. Kind of got that knowing smile. And then a little bit here. Now, a fun trick to give you a bit of depth on the lips is to leave a tiny little bit of a lighter color right underneath, and then that's sort of where the fullness of the lip folds back into the flatness of the cheek, and it will create that dimensional look for you. Again, if you are a little confused and you're not sure, grab yourself a reference photo and use that for the light and the color, or just the light, just to see where things are. It looks kind of cartoony now because I've given him an outline, but it will be filled in, and we're just going to start adding a little bit darker. The top lip, generally, not always, generally, is darker than the bottom. It's just the way that the light tends to hit in photographs and portraits, so that will be happening as well. And again, just creating a bit of an outline here. So this here is one of those things that's not intentional. There is something in the sizing, and it's pulling all the all of the pigment into that area. But you know what? It's working. It happens to be in the perfect place, so I'm not going to get too worried about it. Okay. All right, I'll let that dry up, and then we'll come back in. Now I actually see, before I let it go, that there is a little bit of duskiness here. And so if I put a little bit of this
That's
violet,
pretty good for the first level, so I'm going to let that dry and then we'll do the next.
Create a shadow, very subtle, but also give us that kind of darkness where the
Now
lip
I've
is
added a little bit
darker
of
up
brown
in here.
to the violet mixture, and there's a mid-tone, and we're just
Now
doing the
remember,
edges,
these are undertones,
some of the
so
creases
this
in the
will
lips,
have
and just
more
darkening
of the
that top
brown
lip a
color
little.
going on afterwards, but right now,
now giving him a bit more
this
depth, we're going to add that
little bit of
shadow
violet
right underneath the
just right
lips,
on the ends here.
a little bit heavier in the center, which makes it look like his lip is fullest in the center. And then with a bit of that brown left on the brush, I'm going to just tap in a bit into the edges and through the center to give a bit of definition between the top and the bottom lip here. A couple minutes later, it's dried, and I'm going to do the exact same thing, a little bit darker. The first was just to give me an idea of where I wanted the dark lines to go, and now I can go right over top of it and just slowly begin to build up that depth of color. For me, that is my favorite trick. Sometimes if I'm feeling a little tentative, a little insecure in what I'm doing, I like to start a bit lighter and then go darker, because you can always add more, but it's hard to take it away once you put it down. So just play with the techniques that work for you. Now, between the time of putting that down and grabbing some more paint, it's dried up a bit, which is great. And I'm going to add to the edges and a little bit more creases around the lips, which again creates that feeling of depth, that there is the shadow pushing the sides of the mouth back, and where it is light in the front, it looks like it is coming forward. So again, just a matter of playing and adding some color. I'm going to do some brows and some darker details, and this time I did the combination of the ochre and the purple and added a little bit of the dark russet orange. This one is actually, what did I use here? This one is the Quin Transparent Pyrrole Orange. Say that 3 times fast. But it makes a really nice brown color with a bit of a warm undertones. Now here's where the magic happens, because we're going to take this from looking a little bit cartoony into a little bit more realistic. Now the whole point again of having that pink and violet underneath was that it will shine through and create a depth of color to make it look a little more lifelike. Now we're going on with a bit of a golden brown color and beginning to make this look a little more like the rest of his skin, and creating that feeling of fullness and color and life in the lips here. So again, same sort of thing. We're just putting our focus with the darker color on the outside of the edges, a little bit around the top and through the center, while leaving the light through the center and midpoint of the lower lip so that it looks full. And on the very last step, I'm going to go one last layer just in between the lips and on the edges. 95% of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, watercolors will dry much lighter than when you're putting them down. So it's not a problem to always go back and add just a little bit more shadow and finish off your painting. And there you go with the finished painting, and it looks very much like part of the rest of the skin tone. And even though this was a very quick painting from my sketchbook tutorial portraits done in about an hour, the lips turned out quite well. I think they look good with the rest of the face and the skin tones, and it's always amazing how putting a little bit of layering can create some depth and tone that works really, really well for a man's lips. Now, I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. If you have any questions, let me know below. I love to talk to you, so let me know what's going on. If you want to know about the paints, the brushes, the techniques, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. Why am I doing it? Because I'm having fun, that's why. And I want you to have fun too. So let me know. And if you enjoy this, give me a thumbs up. I'm a new channel, and that really does help me in the algorithm and get things seen. And hey, if you watch my videos and enjoy them, click that subscribe button. And that way you're never going to miss out. Fun, fun. Okay.